kind of abstract artwork with some kind of boring item around the house that you've drawn at least 5 to 6 times. So I went ahead and I chose this like mason ball jar glass because I use them every day and they're just always lying around the house as I try to pick them up and put them away. So I went ahead and I drew it at least 5 times, but before I even drew it, I texturized my background paper with frottage with different kinds of textures that I found throughout the house. And some of them are great, some of them are the walls, and then like this little stencil thing. And I have about 5 drawings of my mason jar where I, looked at it in different perspectives, and then I shaded it. And what we're going to do now is actually take a pair of scissors, or if you don't have scissors, you can tear with your hands carefully, or even with a ruler, to kind of carefully start to, bring these apart. You don't have to cut them completely, perfectly around them if you don't want to. That might actually leave like a nice texture and look. So one of the things that we learned about when we learned about abstract art is that they would look at an object, kind of deconstruct it, and redraw it or paint it in a new way, looking at it in multiple angles at the same time. And that's kind of our goal here, is to take this object, draw it in different perspectives, and then bring it together in a new way onto another sheet of paper. So I was thinking that we could, do that by eventually cutting up our pieces enough and creating a new look. When I tear with my ruler, by the way, I use that nice, and I always tell students, don't take this out, that nice little like plastic or metal edge that comes along in the ruler, if it still has it. If it doesn't, you can still use like the nice edge if you have a nice edge. This is why I say don't sword fight with your rulers. Keep them nice and sharp. And then I like to press down like a nice even amount of pressure with my index finger and my thumb, and then I start in one corner and I slowly pull up and I get a pretty nice tear. And sometimes it's nicer to look at torn edges than it is to look at like these prefabricated edges. So this is some extra paper. I'm not tossing my extras yet. I'm gonna actually keep these off to the side because I might want to use them. Let's tear this little guy out. So carefully start on one side, so it's like even amount of pressure. Let me cut him out a little bit more. Careful not to. Nice and slow, okay? Don't move too fast if you're not sure. Just nice and slow. It'll get the job done. All right, and then let me turn this one a little bit more. Maybe I'll cut that more. All right, so here are my little mason jars. Let me just stack them up. I'm going to take this perforated edge off my sheet of paper. Now you can choose to have your sheet of paper either landscape or portrait. I think I'm going to go ahead and keep it landscape for right now. And yes, we can cut our objects out as well. So one thing that I can do is further cut these guys to start like adding pieces and kind of make like a Frankenstein. Maybe I can start with this larger piece in the middle, and then I can like now I'll take a pair of scissors. So I'll start with this, and now I'm going to play. And it's so important to play. And you're like, what? Yes, let's play with our drawings. And think about, like, maybe the jar is starting to come off over there. Maybe I expand my jar over here. This is like looking down at my jar. I kind of like this idea of cutting into it and, like, you know, morphing this little, you know, drawing in different ways. Maybe I'll slice this one over here. And then you might be like, but I took so much time drawing these beautiful drawings, you know? What is an art class if you're not repurposing and reimagining? So I'm kind of starting to create like this expanded jar. Or maybe I'll cut this edge off too. Maybe attach it. Like if it's, maybe I'll put this one on top. So now it's becoming this monster jar. I don't know. Let me see if I can mess with the lighting so you guys can see that a little bit better. Because I know sometimes the brightness of the light will start to shine too harsh. Alright, that's maybe too dark now. Let me see if I can zoom in. Oh, there you go. That looks better. Okay, so you can kind of still see up here the drawing that I have created and how it's starting to morph off. I do want to cover my entire sheet of paper, and I'm going to try to see what I can do. I could probably add this right here, a little shorty. I can even come over here and, like, you know, add that one out. What would be helpful is that once you've created, oh yeah, that looks cool. Once you've created some semblance of this jar that you're happy with, take a picture so you don't forget where things are. Take a picture with your cell phone, and then we come in with our glue stick and start to carefully glue this new jar down. And now I've like fractured off my my original mason jars and created like this new, like a Frankenstein jar, right? Like, I don't know, it's abstract. It's no longer, even though I have it kind of centered here, this main one, it's kind of become this larger drawing. All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop the record here, glue this down, and then we'll continue with this project in a little bit.